Good evening everybody, James from Lingaero back again for another short video, and the topic of this video is going to be another topic I get asked about very often by student pilots particularly, which is all about the TOEIC exam. Now the TOEIC exam is an internationally recognised standard English assessment which is used for a number of purposes, quite often for visa applications, for example in the UK, for university admissions in certain countries, and obviously Lingaero being very active in France, I'm asked a lot about the TOEIC because Air France in particular requires applicants to most of their entry programs to have 850 points on the TOEIC. So sit tight and you're going to enjoy James's special TOEIC guide. Now the first thing to know about the TOEIC is that there are in fact two versions of the test. There is a listening and reading test, which is the most commonly taken one, and there is also a speaking and writing test. But the majority of people applying particularly to airlines are going to take the TOEIC listening and reading test, so this video will focus particularly on that version of the test. So for your TOEIC listening and reading, you have first the listening section, which takes about 45 minutes, and there are 100 questions, and these questions are divided up into 4 different question types. So the first question type is the photo, with 4 possible answers. You hear 4 people saying 4 different things about a particular photo, and you have to choose the one that's the most logical. The second one is that you have to hear somebody saying a question, and then they give you a number of suggestions of answers to the question, and you have to pick the answer which seems the most logical. Then you have conversations, and what you have to do is listen to somebody talking, 2 people talking between themselves, and you have to answer questions about the content of the discussion. And then you also have the talks section, where there is somebody who gives a talk for about a minute or so about a particular topic, and the same thing, you have to answer questions in your answer book. And then we also have a reading section which is more based on reading comprehension and grammar. So you have incomplete sentences, so a fill in the blank type exercise. You have text completion, where you have to choose the correct sentence to finish a particular piece of text. And then you also have different texts on different topics, and they ask you questions about different topics. The first thing to really remember about this test, particularly if you're a pilot, is that it has absolutely nothing to do with aviation whatsoever. So some of it will seem completely disconnected from your aviation world, but what we're going to do now is have a little look at some examples, or some concrete examples of exercises that you might see in the test. So let's go. Description 1. The man is looking for something in his bag. Description 2. The man is urinating into his bag. Description 3. The man is an extremely good-looking aviation English specialist. Description 4. The man is making an omelette. Question. Excuse me, can I walk my dog around here? Answer 1. The cycle path is over there. Answer 2. Dogging is not allowed in this car park. Answer 3. Yes, but please keep it on a lead. Answer 4. The dog kennels close at 5 p.m. So there we have just a couple of very simple examples of exercises that you might get in the TOEIC. I won't go over the entire test content because it is very easily available on the internet. So now we come to the question of what is the best solution to prepare for the TOEIC exam. Now I am very, very pleased to present you Lingaero's special, never before seen, fantastic, comprehensive TOEIC revision guide. And I have here the magical tool which will allow you to get as many points as you want on the TOEIC. And what is it? It's this. And this is precisely the reason why Lingaero does absolutely no TOEIC training, because I have no problem with the test itself. It's a perfectly valid test instrument. The exercises are designed to test comprehension, they're designed to test listening and reading, and I have absolutely no problem with it. What I do have a problem with is the way in which the exam is used more for business reasons than for anything else. There are any number of businesses which exist just to cram people for the TOEIC. And I've even seen schools where if you pay X amount of euros, we guarantee you X number of points. I'm not saying all schools who prepare for the TOEIC do that, but a great number do. And the big problem, the really big problem, particularly in the aviation sector, is that when, for example, Air France says you must get 850 points on the TOEIC to get in, they're not saying we want you to have a certain level of English. What they're saying is learn how to get 850 points on the TOEIC. So we end up in a situation where people are not really learning English. It's like the ATPL theory of English. People spend hours and hours and hours cramming for the test, and yep, they get 850 points, but it says absolutely nothing about their ability to actually use English in an aviation environment. So my biggest tip to anybody who wants to prepare for the TOEIC is buy a book, get yourself some hours in a TOEIC factory type school, and just work on it again and again and again. It's like people who get like a Gleegly subscription for the ATPL. It's exactly the same thing. It's all about cramming. So cram, 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 get your piece of paper, and hopefully one day the entire linguistic world won't revolve around these kind of cramming exercises. If you don't want to spend too much money, or if you're on a budget, another solution can also be to go on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you will find, if you type in free TOEIC exercises, you will find literally hundreds of sample exercises. It's all about the cramming. It has absolutely nothing to do with learning English.